Welcome back, everyone, to the weekly Armchair Kickoff podcast. We're on the United show today, Devil's Advocate. And today, it's our Manchester United versus Fulham preview in the Premier League. So today, I am going to be joined by Reese and also new weekly Armchair Kickoff podcast member, Mr. Evan Fahy as well. So we're here to talk all things Manchester United, all things Premier League, as per usual. I said, look, I'll do a show on a Sunday night, kind of just something different to kind of spice it up. And obviously because we have a game on Tuesday, so I said, look, Sunday night, nice night to kind of jump on and have a chat about Manchester United. And straight away, going to come to a couple of comments in the comment section. Jake is in the house tonight. Jake says, hello, Jake, I hope you're well this evening. I hope you had a good weekend. And as always as well, Rory is also in the comments as well. Good evening, Rory. I hope you had a good weekend. Hope you done whatever you wanted to do over the weekend, and hope you're feeling well going into your Monday tomorrow. But yeah, look, just before I bring kind of the lads in, kind of quickly myself, just kind of want to touch on the Liverpool game Thursday. Look, it's my first time back on the channel, obviously, since Thursday. I've done the pre-match show Thursday, haven't been on since. I was on my own and all different channels last week. It was absolutely mental, but just kind of give my own kind of review kind of on Liverpool just quickly, just before I kind of bring the lads in. Look, for me, 4-2 defeat. Look, it stung. It really stung me. Losing to Liverpool is kind of, it's always, it always stings. They're your biggest rivals. It's always, the toughest defeat to take out of any of the teams you play in the league. Rory is in the comments, says Keane with the fresh trim. Yeah, look, I went down to the barber's there Friday. There's no hair growing up, my ears gone, nice skin fade. So, look, again, fresh haircut, new man over the weekend, got it the day after the Liverpool game, had to kind of cheer me up. But yeah, look, I think when you look at the performance for United on Thursday, there's a lot of individual errors that kind of led to us losing the game on Thursday. You look at kind of McTominay and Fred, they were massively culpable for the goals. Dean Henderson's positioning could have been, a lot better. You look at kind of positioning, then Victor Lindelof channeled his inner Phil Jones almost, with some of his defender. No, Rach probably will kill me now for slagging off Lindelof, but look, he wasn't his greatest performance. I thought Eric Bailly, he was shocking as well. I thought Aaron Wan-Bissaka played very well, though. I thought he actually was solid. He was probably our only good defender. It was probably Luke Shaw's worst game since the 6-1. But look, when you look at the large scheme of things now, we have a big Europa League final coming up on the 26th, literally in 10 days' time. We have 2 Premier League games to play before that, so we do have to play ourselves into form before that Europa League final, because we're on 3 defeats now in the spin. Doesn't really feel like that, because I suppose there's a lot of positivity around the football club at the minute. With the Europa League final coming up, cup final, to a chance for Ollie to get his first trophy at the football club. So there's still a lot of positivity, a lot of positive vibes at the football club at the moment, because we have a cup final to look forward to. Look, we've had a successful season in long-term scheme of things. We finished second. We're on course to finish second place. We're going to discuss that later on the show. We're in a cup final. Again, a better points tally than last season. So there is a lot of positives to take out of this season. But I'm going to bring the guys in to the show now. First of all, you might have seen him on the London Lowdown this Friday for the FA Cup final preview. Mr. Evan Fahy, he's new to the weekly Armchair Kickoff podcast. Evan, how's it going?
How you getting on, Keane? I'm good.
Very good. Thanks for asking. It's a weekend without Manchester United, so it kind of feels a bit weird coming onto a show on a Sunday evening to kind of talk about football.
Yeah, sure. Look, it has to be done, though, don't it? That's the thing.
Yeah, 100%. Always here to talk about United. And as always, joining us again on Devil's Advocate, as per usual, is Mr. Reese Russell. Reese, how are you going this Sunday?
I'm all right, mate. How are you going?
Not too bad. Look, again, as I said to Evan, it's kind of good to kind of sit down this Sunday and kind of not worry about my own team's game on a Saturday or a Sunday. It's kind of good just to chill out kind of after finishing work. If anyone who knows, I was dying of a hangover all day today. I was drinking last night watching the UFC. So it's kind of good to be on here and to kind of take my mind off the fact that, my stomach is absolutely killing me and my head is pounding. But, it's good to see you guys. Good to have a bit of company today. But I suppose, looking into Fulham kind of guys on Tuesday, Manchester United on 70 points at the moment this season. Obviously, 4 points better off than last season. Evan, come to you first from an outsider's perspective. You look into this game on Tuesday. Obviously, 3 defeats on the spin. Obviously, we lost to Roma, lost to Liverpool, and we lost to Leicester City in the last kind of week or so. Obviously, a lot of fixture congestion in there. There's a lot of Manchester United fans who I've been speaking to are calling for massive rotation against Fulham on Tuesday. But you look at the fact United have a cup final in 10 days' time, and the fact we've lost 3 games in the spin. Me personally, I think United should go full strength Tuesday, because we have to play ourselves back into form coming into Europa League final. Again, 3 defeats in the spin, we can't make it 4 or 5. Like, from your perspective, I know you're not a Manchester United fan, but kind of looking at the recent results in the last couple of weeks, and obviously, it's a bit of a 22 for Ollie. What do you think United should do coming into this game?
Looking from the outside, like you said, you've only won 2 games in the last 5 matches. To me, it's a must-win game. I know they're not a big side, and it's kind of a side you'd be thinking it's kind of we should be winning that kind of a game. And I think apart from 1 or 2 players now, I think full strength. You have a final coming up to be thinking about. You need to be resting players, and I think you're right in saying more of a full strength, because you want to secure that second position, because Leicester are creeping up, so they are. So I would agree.
Yeah, I think for me, you go out and win Tuesday. I think for me, and cement that second place, and what that does do, it gives a massive morale boost within the dressing room. It gives you a confidence boost, and what that outlines is progress from last season. It's confirmed at that point that it's progress from last season in terms of league position. And I think, again, that kind of gives Solskjaer kind of indication, in terms of progress in the league, in terms of progression from last year, and kind of silences a couple of doubters for at least a week, anyway. I think, I'm in agreement. I think United go full strength. I think, for me, I think maybe Marcus Rashford's the only one for me that probably gets a rest, if I'd be honest. Martial is back from injury. He's back training. Marcus Rashford's been playing non-stop the last kind of couple of months. He's been carrying injuries. So for me, I think bar the exception of Rashford, I think for United, we should go full strength for me. Because you get the result, you get the win. Then you can go to Wolves then next weekend. And then we've seen, obviously, recent reports in the last couple of days. We've called up Elanga is now a permanent member of the first team. Shola Shortire, Shane Dowley. He's also got a call up to the first team. And obviously there's room for the likes of Hannibal and stuff like that to get a call up. So when you look at kind of the trajectory for Manchester United, I think you go out and win this game against Fulham. You do it early, make changes during the game, and then against Wolves next Sunday, you can then play a massively rotated team in preparation for the Wednesday.
Was done against Leicester.
Yeah, but I'd even play even a slightly weaker side. Even I won't say weaker, but I'd say play the kids. I would actually play the kids a full nearly kids 11 against
Van der Beek again. Go.
Van der Beek could be captain probably, but. For me, against Wolves, especially if we win Tuesday, I think you play Shortire, you play Elanga, you play Amad Diallo. I'd even go on a stretch here and say you play Daniel James, because he hasn't played much football either. You play the likes of Axel Tuanzebe, you play Brandon Williams, Tellez, all these players who haven't played much football against Wolves to kind of give them extra game time, extra experience in a Manchester United shirt. But for me, Tuesday, out of the 2 games, Tuesday's the one you go the strongest, because you're after coming off a defeat off your biggest rivals. That demoralises you. I don't care what level of football you play. If you lose to your biggest rivals, you're stinging for a couple of days. 100%. I've been there obviously at a low level, but when you lose to your rival, it can sting. And for morale, I think, and confidence, I think for United, I think it's very important we go strong Tuesday. Play the first 11, bar the exception of Rashford, because he's knackered. And I think you go out and get a result. You get a positive result. You go out and play in the front foot against Fulham, a team who are already gone down. So,
I think they're third from the bottom now, are they?
Yeah. So, you look at that, you have to say, go forward, press forward, be Manchester United, put your stamp on the game, and secure second place. Reese, where's your head at with Tuesday?
I think full strength is the logical option, to be honest. I think we do need to. Most of these players are confidence players. They're definitely not players that could easily just bounce back from a defeat. They do need to. If they lose a game, they've got to lose another before they even get back into form. And it's evidenced by a lot of this team that it's mainly down to confidence. If we win this game against Fulham, we'll probably go and beat Wolves and we'll probably beat Villarreal. It's what they do. This team is in cycles. So that's probably the best way to describe it. But in terms of, I would go full strength. I agree. I don't think Rashford needs to play. I think we don't need him until Villarreal. I think giving him a rest is important. We've got the likes of Rashford there against Villarreal, so I would use Martial. I wouldn't mind him getting a chance on the left wing, even if it's for 60 minutes, get himself into match fitness. I wouldn't mind maybe taking a punt. I wouldn't mind putting Alex Telles up there because he can't defend for shit, but at least he can actually attack a ball. So I would put him in front of Luke Shaw on the left wing. But I wouldn't want Rashford to play. I wouldn't want Rashford to play either of these games. It also means you can drop Pogba back into midfield, and that's what we need. We need him back in the midfield to control it. We need the balance in midfield again because we haven't had that the past couple of games. It's been evident that the midfield aren't strong enough. So hopefully you get him back in there. He can at least take up a little bit of the workload off of Bruno Fernandes having to constantly come back into the midfield too far deep. We can get Pogba to control it and push them forward. Have the game done by 45 minutes. It should be fine.
Yeah, I think when we played Fulham at Craven Cottage, we did play Pogba and Bruno in the well. Bruno played in 10. Pogba played beside Fred, I believe, at Craven Cottage earlier on the season. It worked really well. Obviously, Pogba again was brilliant that day. Well, look, it's these days he's actually been very consistent since the Leipzig game. Since the Leipzig game in December, Paul Pogba's been one of our more consistent performers. Rival fans will text me and say he isn't. Which I look again. I don't know what football they're watching. To be brutally honest, Manchester United are a better team when Paul Pogba plays in it. And it
is an honest comment. It is an honest comment to make that there are times where it doesn't matter who we play against. There's times where he can go invisible, and that's not a criticism. It's just the opposition are either marking him out of the game, or he's just not being able to have an impact due to how we could be feeling personally. We've seen that, how he's been performing lately with Ramadan. The amount of energy he's having to expel from one meal, it takes a lot out of you. So the fact that he's been able to maintain such consistency and at times be marked out of the game, Liverpool, he was marked out at times. But you see the way he still plays. So I think a lot of people are maybe a bit too quick to judge him in certain games when, frankly, they should at least wait and see what he does. Because I know myself, I can hold my hand up, I can hold myself accountable. There's been times where this season where I've questioned where he's been. I've questioned if he's in the right position, if he's in the wrong position to start a game. And then he goes and 2 minutes later he gets an assist or he gets a goal and I'm like, this is literally what I'm waiting on. It's just that moment. So I think there's some fans that do need to be either patient or just be a little bit more held accountable for maybe being a bit too quick to presume about a player's impact. And I know myself, I'm guilty of that a few times. So
yeah, 100%. So am I. I think earlier on the season,
more than guilty, I'd say, Reese.
Yeah, I'm an honest fan, but I can be a dick when I want to be.
100%. Look, for me, I think, we're all guilty. I'm guilty sometimes. I criticize players. I wouldn't say I criticize them, but I don't know what kind of word to use. I'm a bit hard on them.
There's honest criticism.
Yeah.
And then there's what football Twitter does.
Yeah, there's a difference. Yeah. I feel you there. But you see players like Pogba, you see players this season Cavani proved me wrong this year. He's been fantastic. I think Harry Maguire's proved me wrong this season. I was looking for him to get dropped earlier on the season. Like I'll hold my hands up here. Like you can go back and watch the videos. I was saying we need to get rid of him. Like I was going that far. But look, he has proven me wrong this season. I'm not going to lie, and I'm happy that he's proved me wrong. Because at the end of the day, like you're a Manchester United fan, ultimately, your love for the football club should be bigger than your opinion. I'm just going to say that straight. Like your love for your football club should be bigger than what for you.
You want every player to do well.
Opinion. Yeah.
You want every player to do well. It doesn't matter who you support. Like if they play for your club, you want them to do well.
Not every player is going to be 100% unreal Ballon d'Or winner every match. Like that's the thing, and that's what people need to realize.
Yeah. Like see, for me, do you want what's probably the best example to use for this situation in terms of giving players criticism? One of the best examples I'm going to use, and I'm going to move. Marcus Rashford. I wasn't actually going to use him, but I'm going to use him now since he brought up his name. I was actually going to go to an Irish player, but I'm going to leave that to the side. I'm not going to go there. Like Marcus Rashford is a player who gets criticised by his fan base. He gets absolutely slaughtered, and I don't get it. You look at
he's one of your best players.
He's one of our best players, and this is the thing, and this is what I don't get. I can't wrap my head around this. Marcus Rashford gets absolutely battered by United fans, not even opposition fans, because opposition fans praise Rashford. I praise Rashford. I think he's a fantastic footballer, but there's a lot of people in the fan base that really need to be held accountable for saying he's overrated, for saying he's having a bad season, when statistically he's having a better season he did last year. Most of the season he's been playing out of position and he's been injured. And what does he have now? Like 20 goals and 15 assists or whatever that is.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, like if you have that output playing out of position and through injury, I don't care what anyone says. That shows your quality and a good mentality, that you're still producing them numbers even when you're playing out of position, and like you have a shoulder injury. You have it's been documented his ankles, or he's really bad ankle injuries at the moment as well. So
actually, I read in the newspaper as well today that he broke up with his girlfriend, so that I think that might have now a mental effect on him.
Yeah, I seen actually. I read that actually last night as well on Twitter.
It's the first I've heard that.
Yeah, broke up with his girlfriend.
First I've
But he's still producing this form. So this is where I say, for people who are hard on Marcus Rashford, when you look at his numbers, without his numbers this season, there's a lot of games of football we actually wouldn't have won. There's a lot of them. If you go back and actually look at the results of his goals in these games, there's a lot of goals this season. Manchester United, I can tell you now, guys, would not be second place without Marcus Rashford in this side. When you look at some of his crucial goals and assists.
It's true. I think the one thing I know, like, there's been times where I've been a bit too, like, I don't care. Like, I'm honest. When it comes to criticising players, there are times where I will, but I've been saying since January, and there's a fair few people that can vouch for me on this one. I've been saying since January, I don't want him to play a single game. And it's not because he's scoring goals or getting assists because we need them. He's not been fully fit in 2 years. And that was tweeted by his own PR team that were forced to delete this tweet, like, because they got hounded for it. So like, I've been begging for what one friend went, we're in May now. So I've been begging for like 4 months just to get the guy whatever he needs, like surgery, like specialist help, all that shit.
The thing is, Reece, look how he's playing with
it's crazy
that he has. Like,
it's crazy that he's a broken man physically. It's crazy that he is broken physically, but he's still outputting. It's true.
No.
I was going to come to a comment here from Ado. Ado says, as a Liverpool fan, I can agree Rashford is an unbelievable player. Look, this is why I appreciate people put rivalry aside and like recognize they're a good player. Like Mo Salah, right? I might not like him, right? But Mo Salah is a world-class footballer. Mo Salah is a world-class footballer. I'll say that straight. Very good footballer. Like, again, his levels of production is off the scale. Like, you look at today, the Liverpool game, didn't have his best performance, but in big moments, so obviously he pulls it out of the bag. Now we all know Alisson scored a header today. Look, that was fucking like, I was working next to me, I see Alisson running up for a corner and scoring a header.
Crazy.
Thought I was watching Peter Schmeichel. Oh my god. But yeah, it's absolute madness.
The only goalkeeper scored this season.
That's a mad
crazy.
stat.
It's crazy.
I checked that as well after he scored.
Yeah.
I'm going to come to Rachel's comment with regards to the setup. Would you play 3 at the back maybe with Luke as left centre back, Tellez as left wing back, Victor, Axel, Luke Shaw, Williams and Tellez as wing backs? Not a bad option. To be fair, I think.
I'd stick with the back four.
Yeah, we'll get to starting 11s in a moment with regards to how we think we should approach the game. We'll move on to that later on in the show. But kind of one thing I want to bring up on the podcast tonight, guys, is transfers this summer. Because obviously, look, for a Manchester United point of view, people say there's certain areas that need to be addressed. And there's names floating around the media. Fans are floating around names. I watched Devil's Advocate the other night, and there was a lot of comments questioning the panelists, kind of in terms of their criticisms of the formation and stuff like that. So I'm going to actually bring up transfers here because obviously, look, City won the league this year. We all know City won the league. Big fair play to them. But Manchester United fans, we want to challenge for the title next year. So I didn't tell the lads this question was even going to be brought up tonight, because I want to put them kind of on the spot with this one. Going to come to you first, Reese.
Groovy.
I'm going to get so the vast majority of United fans, Reese, think that defensive midfield, centre back, and right wing, the 3 main positions, United need to strengthen. Okay, so I'm going to give you one position here. Okay. I'm going to give you right wing, and I'm going to give you 3 players who you think Manchester United should sign in that role.
All right. I think the obvious one.
You can't sign all 3, but if you had 3 choices,
yeah.
If I
had 3 choices,
So I want you to rank from 3rd to 1st.
All right. Let's see. I would say in 3rd, just because he has a very strong connection to Fernandes. He's actually been decent in the league. We've already seen, because he's quite an intense player from that position, and he can cut in his left foot. In 3rd, I'm going to have to say Rafinha. I know a lot of people have slaughtered me for it, but I actually think he's a good player. I think if you actually look at what he does, like the way we seem to play it is we've got Greenwood in the minute he's playing out on the right-hand side, he's cutting in his left foot, and he's actually been very decisive. And I think that's a factor. He seems to be, obviously Greenwood is a natural number 9, but he's been used out in there to accommodate the likes of Cavani, because Cavani's our best striker, and then Greenwood can still be in effect. 2nd, I'd have to say Pedro Gonçalves. He's had a fantastic season for Sporting. He's had 16 goals from the right wing position, and it says all really that he's not even a natural winger. He's a central midfielder playing out wide, and he's had his best output season as a winger, and that says all, like how effective he can be. And then number 1, I think, is pretty much obvious, which I think is going to happen anyway. Number 1, Sancho. Now I don't know if Sancho's going to have the same terms of goals and assist input that he's getting in the Bundesliga that he's going to do in the Premier League. That's pure speculation. But what I will say is he is vital because of his versatility. Like his versatility in terms of he can play right wing, he can play left wing, he can play attacking midfield, and we play a front 4 of a striker, 2 wide midfielders playing as wingers, so inverted forwards, and then you've got an attacking midfielder in Fernandes. Either player gets injured, at least Sancho, he's not going to be accommodated, but at least he can be used as well in any of those positions. But I think for us, in terms of what we need, I think he is probably the best choice to get for the right-hand side.
Yeah, I think he's versatile as well. He can play on the right, he can play on the left. Even if you wanted to even go out a stretch and say, could he do a job in the middle? You never know. I think he has the attributes if you need him, as a false 9.
He's done it there for Dortmund. He's done it there for Dortmund, and he's consistent.
Yes, so again, I think that Sancho, for all United fans, is probably the number 1 option for the last kind of 2-3 years now. So, yeah, look, I agree with Sancho. Look, I do agree. I think Rafinha, if you're looking at maybe third or fourth choice, I think he will be a good player.
I think he's worth a mention.
Like Goncalves, I'll be honest, I don't know much about him, but Sporting Lisbon do have a good record of breeding through players. Pogba, Fernandes, Nani, do you know what I mean? Rafinha, list goes on.
Yeah.
You know, so
I've watched a handful of his games. He's decent. I've watched a handful of their games this year. He's actually a very decent player, and he started the season as two midfielders in a back five, like as a back five defense, a 5-2-3. He played in the middle there, in a pivot, and then he was pushed out to the wing, and his goals number just skyrocketed. So he is an option, but there could be others there that you could look at. But I think the ones I've listed, I would probably go in the same order. But I would say the main one to get is Sancho. But whoever we get, as long as they are of the top quality, that's all that matters. I don't want someone that comes in that's just going to be another one for the future, because no disrespect to what we've got, like Ahmad's the one for the future. We need someone for the now as well. We can't just keep going and get ones for the future. We need a ready-made player now, and Sancho is. Yeah,
100%. Look, I was on that Jadon Sancho train last summer. Even down to the last hour of deadline day, I had done a transfer live stream here on transfer deadline day, and I was literally sitting here thinking, come on, like I kept saying, come on, United, just sign Sancho, sign Sancho, sign Sancho. Got to 11 o'clock that night, and Sancho was still a Dortmund player. So I think for me, to kind of win my battle, I need Jadon Sancho to sign for this football club.
It does make you wonder where we would be if we had signed Sancho a year ago. But another thing as well is it's actually quite a good thing that maybe we didn't, because maybe he just needed another year to show if he could maintain the output, because obviously he had a fantastic, this is what his third season at Dortmund, and he's played in so many different systems that he's had to constantly adapt himself. And the fact that he maintains at least 20 goals, 20 assists a season, playing in numerous positions, I take credit to the guy. A lot of people have been calling him overrated this year, and I'm like, well, because he didn't get his move. Like you would expect a player to have like a dip in their season, and Sancho did for about 3 or 4 months where he had no attacking output. It was, his numbers were dead, and then he got back into form. He played himself into form, and it's the reason why Haaland is getting all those goals. It's purely down to Sancho.
But that's like
so I give
said
credit where
on,
credit's due.
Everyone has their downtime, like, do you know what I mean? Not everyone is a 100% Ballon d'Or winner every game.
He was down for about 4 months, yeah.
Yeah, so look, he's someone who I think will be crucial to United's kind of season next year. Joe, with regards to adapt a more balance to the team. Evan, before I come to you, your players and positions, we have a comment in here from Rory. Rory says, Evan, which hurling team is that?
What's the crack, Rory? This is actually WIT College, so this Vikings. I'm in college down there, so if you do like the jersey O'Neill's, just type in WIT Vikings, it'll come up for you.
There you go, Evan, with a bit of plug for WIT College here. You're welcome.
I've only ever watched one hurling game in my life, and it was on YouTube. I watched that hurling final from like 7 years ago, so I can't even remember who it was. Like, I think it was Clare or something. I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
Clare 7 years? No, that was 8 years ago, 2013.
Yeah. I got sent a link to watch it because I was asking what the sport is because I'd never heard of it, and they're like, "No, just give us a watch." And it was that game. I sat through it thinking, I was sitting through it thinking like this is going to be shit. Like, why am I watching this?
It's like Shinty, so it is.
No, I actually enjoyed it.
Over there, yeah.
But guys, like, I'm just going to come to obviously the next position in terms of where obviously people think United need to strengthen. Evan, I'm going to come to you.
I really hope the one I'm thinking of now, and the one
give him defense midfield. Give him defense.
No. I'm going to give him centre back. I
really wanted a defensive midfield because
that means I'm forced. That means if I get CDM, I'm forced to say one player. Fuck.
I have three, so, and we've been talking throughout the chat and that, and I've been hagging you about one player in CDM.
Yes, look, we'll come to CDM in a while because that's going to be a collective discussion because that's the most important position. But centre back, Evan. Again, what I'm going to do, Evan, the same criteria as Reece Russell. It's going to be three players. Ranking from third to first, who you think Manchester United should sign as a centre back to partner Harry Maguire next year?
See, there's a lot of players that you can just easily say, oh, I want this player, I want this player, and this player. But obviously, what Maguire lacks is pace. So you need someone in there, pace, to clear up in behind, to be able to track back and do the job. And I think it was in the comments there already, Varane. If that came true, imagine if Varane came. He's obviously number one. If I had to pick who I'd like to see go, if I had my choice of anyone, Varane would be an ideal serious player. Second, another Frenchman. Uh, for Barcelona, fucking, I can't even properly say his
Langley,
name.
is it?
Langley, yeah.
Langlet.
Yeah. Interesting. No
Left
one was talking about it. Exactly. I just think, do you know what I mean? It's a big controversial, like, switch it up, get players like outside who have been doing their job well, like, and he's been doing the job well at Barcelona. Do you know what I mean?
Hey
He's in
guys, the one
What's
point
up?
of defensive midfielder.
Go on.
I've something to come to. I'm after seeing something on social media, so I've something to come to when we get to defensive midfielder. But continue,
God.
Evan.
And then obviously third, then underrated player at Tottenham, Alderweireld. I think he's a solid man there with years. It would be very nice to see him switch it up from Tottenham. So they're my three.
I would have said Alderweireld 2 seasons ago, not the Alderweireld of this season.
I still think he's underrated. I still think he's there. I still think he's able to do like what you need him to do at United.
Nah, I think he'd be too slow the way we play. I don't think he'd suit Ollie's style of football. Under Jose, if he came under Jose that time, he would have excelled, but not this United team. He's getting old now. So for me,
but compared to Lindelof, I think
Lindelof's been better than Alderweireld this season.
I don't know. I'd still
look at Tottenham's defensive record. Look at Tottenham's defensive record this season.
Look at Tottenham as a team, though. If you're going off that,
I think if you're taking a centre back out of Tottenham, in all respect, I'd take Davinson Sanchez because he's got the pace factor. I like Alderweireld. He's a quality set.
Evan, your brother's actually in the comments here. Your brother says him and Maguire both lack the same thing, pace. Yeah, very true. Very true.
I like Alderweireld. I agree. 3 years ago, I would have taken him. I agree.
Yeah,
3 years ago, but I think if you're taking a centre back,
Sanchez solid out.
I'll quickly give my centre backs. Who I think United should sign this summer. I've done a transfer special a couple of weeks ago. We all know what kind of happened on that show. We won't go there. A viral clip is after being kind of put out there. But I did look. My third centre back target is Pau Torres. Look, for me, left side of centre back, left foot of centre back. Lewis Maguire to play on the right side of the defence. He's quick. Very good on the ball, and again, he's intelligent. His position is very good as a centre back. So for me, he'd be someone who would look at if I couldn't get my first choice. My second choice, I only have him as a stopgap. In our back four. The reason why I say this is because I think he's potentially available on a free. Which is Sergio Ramos. If he's available on a free and he's willing to come to the football club, I think his experience in our back four is invaluable.
I can't see him coming to United. Genuinely, I can't see Ramos coming to United.
I'm saying, look, if it's doable and he wants to come to the football club, then you do it. He's available on a free. Do you know what I mean? It's a no-brainer. But it's looking like PSG is where he's going. So, look, but if we had a chance to sign him, it's a no-brainer. He's a world-class defender. And again, if you took him for a season, look what Thiago Silva's done with Chelsea in a year. Ramos could have that same effect at United. So,
by all means, 100%. Ramos would do serious in that team. Guaranteed starter, obviously, but like I said, it's highly unlikely he'll go.
Oh yeah, he's going to PSG. That's more or less kind of nearly confirmed at this stage. But it's someone who I think who could potentially maybe later on down the line. If you did have an opportunity, like this summer, and he says, "Look, fuck it, I'll come," then it's a no-brainer.
Happy days.
But my first choice, people know this last couple of months, is Jules Koundé from Sevilla. Very quick centre back, very good in the ball. You look at Sevilla this season in La Liga; they've been top class. That's been down to their centre back parent, Diego Carlos, and Jules Koundé have been a massive part of that. And Jules Koundé against United in Europa League last season was fucking deadly. He was unbelievable against us. And like, look, he's French international, would have a relationship with our French players. So obviously like Pogba, Martial. And again, like, look, he's probably going to come at a price, but he's top class. He's top class. And he's at 21, 22. It's a no-brainer for me. If you're going for a number one centre back target, you're going Jules Koundé for me all day. Has to be the number one target. But again, look, he's probably going to come at a price. Eric Bailly's recently had to sign a new contract, so I don't think maybe centre back is probably going to be prioritised. Right wing is definitely going to be prioritised this summer. And the next position, which is definitely Manchester United's biggest priority,
big problem,
is the biggest problem at the football club, which is centre defence midfield. You look at United's system at the minute, we're playing two box-to-box midfielders in the defensive midfield position. Like, we're playing two box-to-boxes to kind of plug the gaps from not having the defensive midfielder. Again, look, this position hasn't been... Like, I know we bought Nemanja Matic in 2017. So Carrick was actually still at the football club then, so you can't really call him Michael Carrick's replacement when Carrick was still at the football club. For me, United haven't replaced Michael Carrick since he's left the football club, and we haven't had that type of player who
underrated player.
Oh, he was unbelievable. He was a Rolls Royce in midfield. He really, really was. But for me, we haven't replaced Carrick since he left the football club. He's still there, but he's on the coaching staff. But we haven't replaced him since he's left. So look, for me, to kind of, for the balance of this team, for players to play in their best positions, Manchester United, we have to go out and sign a defensive midfielder this summer. I'm going to go first. My top defensive midfield target this summer. Declan Rice is an absolute no fucking brainer. You look at his role at West Ham this season, he's been absolutely good. Sitting in between two centre-backs, receiving the ball, and playing off to a Soucek, playing off to a Lingard. He plays that role very, very well. Defensively, he's very good. Also, he's very comfortable carrying the ball. He's good in the air. He's a leader. Like, when Mark Noble isn't playing and Declan Rice is fit, Declan Rice is captain for West Ham United at 23 years of age. Under a manager like David Moyes, who, I'll be honest, David Moyes would not give a player who has no experience captain's armband when you consider the other characters who are at West Ham United. So I think that speaks volumes, for Declan Rice in terms of his qualities and his characteristics. When you take the thing about Ireland away and you strip that away, like, look, obviously I still hate him for the fact he jumped to England when, he could have played for us. He wore the Irish shirt, he kissed the badge. But again, when you look at Manchester United, I put that aside because we do need someone to play that role. And for me, he's been right up there in terms of the best defensive midfielders in the Premier League this season. And if you want someone to come in that defensive midfield role, you're going to have someone who's used to the league and hit the ground running. Because the last thing we need is to bring in someone and they don't hit the ground running and they have to acclimatise the league. What we might have to do in that bedding in period is that we're going to have to persist with playing McTominay and Fred for a short-term time, which could hamper us next season in terms of dropping points. So that's my mindset with Declan Rice. I think you get him in, he'll acclimatise the league. He's very familiar with a lot of the United players playing with England too, so it wouldn't be a shock. Obviously, a bigger club's going to be a bigger pressure, but I think he has the mentality to handle that pressure. And the final thing I want to touch on just before I get the lads' choices for defensive midfield for Man United is he has just followed Harry Maguire and Manchester United on Twitter. So I don't know if that's just out there. I didn't know if he knew we were going live tonight and he wanted me to speculate on this, but I'm not one for speculation. But if you're going to follow a rival football club and their captain on Twitter,
he's watching tonight. 100%.
It kind of speaks volumes. It speaks volumes in terms of what could happen in his future. But Evan, I'm going to come to you first. I'm going to leave the man below me for last for defensive midfield because I know he mightn't agree with my answer. So I do want to come to you, Evan. Obviously, from an outsider looking in, we all know McTominay and Fred aren't the long-term answer for United's defensive midfield position.
No.
For you, who would be an ideal player to come in for Man United?
There's only one man, and we talked about this before the group chat and all that, and I've been hecking about him. We've been going back and forth over it, and he's after coming off an FA final win there yesterday, and it's Ndidi. I think he's the next Kante. I said on the London show, he is the next Kante. He is unbelievably solid out, does his job.
Shane Dowley's coming in the comments.
He's just a workhorse. Ndidi
Shane
is the only
Dowley's
man,
in the comments now, writing you out an essay now.
I think Ndidi is just unbelievable. I think develop him up, like I said on the London show, unreal. I think he's going to be different gravy. Like,
absolutely,
he can do what Kante.
Gonna come to Roy's comment here. If you're new in the video, guys, if you're new to the channel, do smash like the video. We do have a lot of podcasts coming up this week as well. Final week of the Premier League season, so we will have a lot more podcasts coming up. The Euros are coming up, so there'll be a lot more kind of different kind of podcasts coming up in the coming weeks. So do check that out. We will have a Europa League preview as well. The Europa League final preview coming up next week. That is going to be a massive preview. I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to get all the United fans from the YouTube channel on at the same time. That should be wild. And Three Devils in the Corner will be live tomorrow as well. So do check that out. But Evan, as you were saying, on Wilfred Ndidi,
I just think he's solid out. I think he can put an impact as Kante did it when he first came to Chelsea, and pushy there. I can see him in Champions League in that red shirt. Like, I can see him doing damage. Like, I can see him being solid out.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, look, I don't doubt his defensive aspect of his game, right? I've said this already, and this is where we and you have a disagreement. Right? we have a falling out over this. I won't even say a falling out. It's more of a disagreement.
Yeah, more of a disagreement. Yeah,
I don't doubt Wilfred Ndidi's defensive aspect of this game. I think, look, it's very good in terms of breaking up play. Fred is also very good at breaking up play, but what he does after breaking up the play is what concerns me. Ndidi would be the exact same. He's not great at passing the ball. He's not comfortable with the ball. Hence why he has Tielemans and Maddison around him to do that around him. He's not, when you see teams who press Leicester, he's not comfortable taking the ball against the press. A lot of teams press Manchester United because we've McTominay and Fred playing there with Lindelof, Maguire behind them. This would be the exact same thing if we played Ndidi there. He's not great at taking that ball on the half turn. He's not great of, playing passes and actually playing between the lines. Whereas if you have a Rice is a more complete footballer. Like Rice is all round more complete footballer. I think Ndidi for Chelsea, right? If you're looking at your football club, Evan, right? Ndidi would suit you more than he'd suit us because your style of play under Tuchel.
We had this on the London Showdown. If we're the combined starting 11, I did have a Kante and Ndidi in that midfield row.
Yeah, I think, like, look, if you look at Chelsea, right, Ndidi suits Chelsea a lot more than he'd suit Man United. And the reason why I say this is just because the way we play football. It's just the way we play through midfield with Bruno and Pogba. I think we need a Declan Rice in there who can plug the gaps, play between the lines, and do what kind of a similar Michael Carrick role, but also have that kind of defensive nous. Whereas Ndidi has all the defensive aspects, but he lacks in the ball playing department.
I think if you stuck Pogba in beside him, the two of them would be something else. I think it's just that.
Shane Dowley is in the comments. He says, "Good evening, gentlemen."
I think if you stuck him in beside Pogba, it'd be different gravy.
Yeah, I can see kind of this, if they did maybe stick to the 4-2-3-1 and had Pogba beside him, maybe it could work. My only concern is Manchester United are probably never doing business with Leicester ever again after we paid 80 million for Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
I think the starting price for Ndidi would be 80 million from Leicester. That'd be starting price.
It would be high. So, that's the thing. It would be high.
Whereas if we go for Rice with West Ham, we have the bargaining chip of using Jesse Lingard as a wake weight, and you can maybe lower your transfer fee to maybe 30 to 40 million pounds up front. Do you know what I mean? So, whereas if you go for
with Jesse?
With Jesse Lingard, so 30 or 40 million along with Jesse Lingard on top of it, that makes up the 80 million transfer fee that West Ham are commanding.
You wouldn't argue a straight swap now?
No, because Jesse Lingard is 28 years of age.
Look at the form he's on over there. Look at the form.
But you have to think about resale value and contract length.
I would if I was at United trying to argue. I would throw in that bid for a straight swap.
It won't happen. Like when you look at, like, again, this is where I'd say I like your thinking. Look, as a Man United fan, I'd like that because we'd save money and be able to plug money in other areas. But I think from a realistic aspect, West Ham are valuing Declan Rice at 80 million pounds. So when you look at that perspective, Jesse Lingard is not worth 80 million pounds. Even on this form he's on, he's not worth 80 million pounds. I would love to say Jesse Lingard is worth 80 million pounds because Amy would she'd chop my fucking head off if I said Jesse Lingard was worth 80 million pounds. But, like, let's be realistic, he's not. I think under this form, you can throw English tax on him. You look at his length of his contract, 30 million, 30 to 40 million at a max for Jesse Lingard. And obviously, you throw 40 million on top of that.
I don't know, maybe I'm just seeing stars in my eyes because I always rated him as a player, even at United, when he wasn't at the best. I just rate the player. I just rate Jesse so much. So I do. And
he's a great footballer, don't get me wrong. Very, very good footballer, but I think you have to take valuation and you have to take contract length and resale value and all that into account. So I think you have to say Lingard is probably valued at about 30 to 40 million max now. And Declan Rice, if you add 40 million on top of that, that covers West Ham's work.
Meet me halfway.
That's what I'm saying. That's what covers. But see, this is the thing. This is what covers this transfer, is that you do offer 40 million pounds up front to West Ham and say, look, you can have Jesse Lingard on top of that. There you go.
Like, it's a guarantee he is staying at the club. Like, he is staying at West Ham. There's no question about it. Like, I don't think United will be thinking about looking for him back. But I really think West Ham are.
Like, look, when you look at Lingard, like, he's on great form and I'm happy for him, but he comes back to United, he has the same problem. He has Pogba in front of him, he's Bruno in front of him, Rashford in front of him, Donny van de Beek's above him in the pecking order, even though, look, if Lingard came back, I'd argue maybe
with the form
Lingard would be ahead of Van de Beek in the pecking order if he came back to football club. But
which would be a shame because I'm a big Van der Beek fan as well, and I think it's not fair that he's not getting the game time, and I think he deserves game time.
I'm not going to get into a Van der Beek discussion because Greg Chambers is probably watching, and we all know Greg Chambers' thoughts on Donny van de Beek. He's more of an agenda on Van de Beek that Donald Trump has about Joe Biden. Do you know what I mean? Like that's literally how big his agenda is. But anyway, kind of looking into defensive midfield, there's one person I haven't came to on this podcast with regards to that position. Mr. Reece Russell, talk to us. Who do you think Manchester United should sign in that position?
Let's hear the controversy.
I am under the impression that I would prefer Cook Minor. I would honestly prefer Cook Minor from Alkmaar. He's the sort of defensive midfielder we need. I did take into consideration your comments. I was listening there patiently. That's why I muted myself. I was listening to both sides. Obviously, you spoke about dealing with the press, counter-pressing teams. You talk about players who can pass a ball. I agree, indeed, he can't pass a ball particularly well. But as a player who can break up play, physically strong, agile, he can do all that. He can do that. But I wouldn't have him at Man United. I wouldn't have Ndidi, no. Rice, he's a good player myself. I'm just not fully convinced by him, but I know if I had to choose between Ndidi and Rice, I would probably choose Rice. I said a footballer's name. He's called Cook Minor. Look him up.
Yeah,
the only smart. He fucking does.
Really likes going at you.
He does. Don't know why. But the one thing I would take into consideration about Koopmeiners though is in terms of he's not playing in terms of like a bigger league as compared to like Rice. He's playing in the Eredivisie. He's playing in the Dutch league. But in terms of what he does average per game, like his stats, ball recoveries, pass completion, he does the exact same. He does the exact same thing. Yeah, I'm totally spitting. I'm like Carragher, mate. Shut up.
He's playing in the Dutch league. The Dutch league is completely different to Premier League. Different players, better
That's the only thing.
level.
That's the only thing.
You think he's going to be able to adopt that everything he's doing over there over to a completely different league, a better league?
Not every player's going to be like that straight away. That's my only thing. But the one thing you could say is,
argument is Declan Rice and Ndidi, they're already in that league. So I mean, you can see what they do in that league already.
And Shane says in the comments, it's nothing but love for Reece. It's all jokes. Yeah, but
I think you just got to take opinion on it, like in the sense of the one thing you can say is like if West Ham didn't accept Rice for Lingard in terms of like a deal there, we would offer like 40 million plus Lingard, you would spend about 30 million to get Koopmeiners. You would spend at least 50 million less, and that's more than enough money to put into another position as well. And he's just as good. But obviously, you do have to look at, would you prefer someone who's already in the league or would you look outside?
But that's the thing. For me, I don't less money, but it might be less money, but it's still a waste if he's going to be useless.
That's the only thing is like every transfer though is a risk. Not every transfer is going to be like a Bruno Fernandes where it's going to be a banger from the beginning or it's going to be absolutely brilliant. Because nobody expected like that to be a straight up signing. Like it's going to be immediate. Everyone thought he would take like 6 months to adapt, but he kicked off off immediately.
I have to stop you there on Bruno Fernandes. 6 months before we signed him, and Jamie Mackie Murphy, who's on this channel, can fucking attest to this. 6 months before we signed him, I wanted Manchester United to sign Bruno Fernandes on transfer deadline day when we didn't get him in August 2019.
I wanted him in the summer.
Yeah, I was fucking raging we didn't get him because I said he's a baller. He's a fucking baller from Sporting Lisbon.
He's a good player.
And people thought I was talking out my arse. It's funny because like a couple of people on this channel work at me and they thought I was talking absolute out of my arsehole. Well, the sun fucking shines out of my fucking arse because Bruno Fernandes has been fucking sensational for Manchester United.
He's been a good player everywhere he's played. Like he's brilliant. He was brilliant at Sporting. He was brilliant at Sampdoria. Not many people forget how good he was in a very shit club in the Italian league. I mean, I watch Italian football, but Sampdoria are shit, and he was quality. Like it says it all, like how good he is. Like, but no one expected him to be straight off the back in like midway through a season, like into January. I thought it would take him quite a while to adapt, but he is a quality player. Absolutely, absolutely.
I said immediately he's going to improve this team because we were lacking Paul Pogba at that time. Paul Pogba was out for like 6 months that season. Bruno came in. And it was like at that time, we had the player that we needed with Pogba. People said, "Oh, we Bruno now. We don't need Pogba." No. We do need Pogba. We need the both of them. Like every midfield has at least two world class midfielders. Do you know what I mean? And Shane says here they call Keane a madman. Well, look, I've been called a lot worse to be brutally honest.
You just take it into consideration, really.
Shane says also here in the comments he'd prefer Bissouma to Ndidi. Yeah, I think Bissouma is also a realistic option. I heard there could be a possibility that we buy Bissouma and James Garner goes the other way on a 1 year loan deal.
Yeah, I think another one as well that might be a smart option if you looked in the league but you didn't want to spend the money on Rice. Sander Berg's another decent option, to be honest.
£12 million,
yeah.
Yeah, he plays in the same position. Like he'll be a bit cheaper than. Well, actually, he'll be a lot cheaper because obviously his relegation clause is about to kick in. He's went from 40 million down to 12 million. That's smart business. So that can be invested. Obviously, it just depends on what direction you want. It just depends on the direction. Yeah.
He's like number 5, number 6 on the list. But look, they're all good choices. And look, for me,
I think the number one though is. I think the number one option you've got to go down though is you want age on your side. Like you want a young. All the players we've listed are early 20s. I think indeed he's 23, 24. So you're still going down that list. Like it's energy, but they're comfortable in their position. I think the one you do go for though is you do go for Declan Rice though. I think that is the one you do go for.
There you go. Them words came out of Reece Russell's mouth. In the words of The Rock, people say it doesn't matter what you think.
And people know my personal opinion on Declan Rice. People know my personal opinion. I'm not too much of a fan of him, but I can't deny he is a good player.
Out of it, though, that's the thing.
He is a good player. I think another one that is...
should buy Declan Rice, and best of luck, Rory. Hope you enjoy your evening.
I think another one is literally what Shane's just mentioned.
Calvin Phillips,
argue with that.
Yeah.
I can't argue with that.
He's a very good footballer, but he comes from Leeds. I don't think Leeds sell to us, to be quite honest. But
they've no sold to us since Alan Smith, and we all know how that ended.
Yeah, but yeah. But we're going to actually go back to the game. I just wanted to throw that kind of topic in just to kind of see what people think in the comments as well. So yeah, it's been a very good chat tonight. But looking at the game Tuesday, obviously, touch on it again. I feel like Manchester United need to go strong. This week I think he's absolutely. It's a time where all he knows he needs to get this team to back into form. We're after losing 3 on the spin, so I think it's very important for ourselves with the Europa League final coming up that we do try to get our team back into kind of their groove and get the confidence levels, up again. I think that's very important. We are a confidence team. So I think it's very important that we do get the confidence levels back up. And Shane doesn't believe that Reece is after saying that United should get Declan Rice. Don't worry, this show is recorded. I will.
Yeah, if I'm asked the question, I'll give an honest answer. So,
Tim does the clips for this show. I think Tim might clip up this after this. We never know. But I'm going to come to start 11 predictions in terms of what the three of us think Man United should line up with in this Tuesday's game against Fulham. I'm going to go first. I'm going to go Dean Henderson in goal. I think he deserves a chance. Again, I think some of the criticism on him was a bit harsh, to be brutally honest. David De Gea has made his fair share of mistakes here. He hasn't been his best for the last 2 years. People were the pitchforks were out for Dean Henderson after one game. I think that's very unfair. Again, he played really well Thursday. Aaron Wan-Bissaka at right back. At centre back, I'm going Tuanzebe and Lindelof. Again, a very good partnership when they do play together. Eric Bailly was shocking the other night, so I think Tuanzebe played very well against Leicester and does deserve a start against Fulham. We'll go Luke Shaw at left back. Again, that inclusion speaks for itself. In front of the back four, I go Nemanja Matic. Again, played very well against Leicester. Again, this is a strong team. We're going to have the majority of the ball in this game. Let's be fair. We can play one defensive midfielder in this role, and Matic does play well in these type of games. So I would go on Nemanja Matic in front of the back four. I'll go Paul Pogba beside Matic. I think there's no need to play McTominay or Fred in this game. We're going to have most of the ball. This style of game don't suit them. So there's no point playing the two of them when we're going to have the majority of the ball. In front of them, I go Bruno Fernandes. Again, look, he's on 18 goals. Let's try and get him a couple of goals and maybe give him a shout on the final day to get in the golden boot race. Do you know what I mean? So let's start Bruno. Let's try get him a couple of goals. Let's try get a penalty early on. Let's try pad them stats, because I know Shane loves that word. So let's try pad them stats. On the left, back from injury, let's try give him at least 60 minutes. I go Anthony Martial. Back from injury, he's been back in full training nearly a week now. Let's give him a run out in this game. Again, he's a very good footballer. I think he was actually coming into a bit of form right before his injury. He was actually playing well for United, and he got into the France team and was playing very well for France on that break, and then he got that injury. So I think Martial, if you can get Martial playing well for them 2 games, and we can use 5 substitutes in that Europa League final, he could be a crucial player against Villarreal with the way they play. So let's get Martial into this team. Let's see if he can maybe challenge like Rashford and Greenwood and Cavani for them places. for that Europa League final. It's good to have competition for places because it lights a fire in all the players. So yeah, I'm gonna go Bruno Fernandes, Martial, and I'm gonna go Mason Greenwood off the right. Again, Mason Greenwood has to start. He's been playing absolutely sensational the last couple of months. Again, look, that Saka Greenwood comparison. Look, I think we all know that was false propaganda that was spread by a lot of Arsenal fans. Next, that's all I'm going to say. And then I go Edison Cavani up top. I think, look, Cavani, I think this is the ideal game for him. Obviously, Fulham centre-backs, Anderson's a very good centre-back. I'd like to see that battle between Anderson and Cavani. Be very interested to see kind of how they battle it out there. But look, that's my starting 11. I was tempted to throw Daniel James in there just to piss Reece off. But you know, I didn't want to take the moral high ground on that one. But that's my 11. Let me know in the comments, guys, what your starting 11 would be for the game. And I'm going to come to Evan. Actually, before I come to Evan, Sean Foley's in the comments here. Right, Sean, here's the thing. Mason Mount is a centre midfield player. No, I'm coming to this now, right?
This is
going to be interesting.
Wind up. You do know, before you say anything, you do know it's a complete wind up.
Oh no, but if it's in our comment section, our viewers are going to see the comment. They'll want me to address it, so I'm going to address it.
This is Mason when the fun begins.
Mount is a centre midfield player, Sean. It's like comparing chalk and cheese, two completely different things. Mason Mount and Greenwood are two different players. You can't compare them, right? Also, Phil Foden is better than Mason Mount. Phil Foden is much superior to Mason Mount. If we're going comparisons on midfielders to Mason Mount, why don't we go Foden Mount? Why don't we do that? Where's your comeback there? I know you won't have one. Next.
He loves winding you up. He loves winding you up.
This is too damn good.
But anyway, Evan. You're starting 11 for it.
Yeah, mine, the back four, not changed from the Liverpool game. I think, like I said earlier on the show, everyone has an off day. Henderson in goal, back four staying the same. Wan-Bissaka, Eric Bailly, Lindelof, and Shaw. Midfield, Pogba and McTominay. Greenwood on the right, Rashford on the left, Fernandes in the middle, and Cavani up top. That's what I went with now. I think it's...
Shane Daly says in the comments here, I think a couple lads on London Lowdown think Mount is better than Greenwood. They won't see heaven for it. Yeah, look, again, right. Mason Mount is a central midfield player.
They're completely two different players.
Mason Greenwood is the right winger slash striker. You can't compare them. You can't compare them. If that's the case, right, if we really want to go down this road, like, I'm going to say this now. Bukayo Saka is a right winger, right? Marcus Rashford's a left winger. Marcus Rashford's a better player, right? If you really want to go down this road, if you want to go down, right, let's look for a ridiculous comparison. Hakim Ziyech is a right winger, right, for Chelsea, whatever he is, right? Actually, no, he's kind of more of an attacking midfielder. Let's take him out of it, right? Yeah. Christian Pulisic is a right midfielder for Chelsea. Paul Pogba is massively more superior footballer than Christian Pulisic. But again, Pogba's been playing on the wing because he's been forced to be put there. But that doesn't make him a better winger than Pulisic, does it? But he's a playing there as a makeshift player.
You got hooked big time.
Oh, this is too funny. I'm sorry, I just can't.
You got hooked big time.
But these London Lowdown guys, when you have to come at me with facts. You have to come at me with facts before you come at me. Because Reece, you know me on this channel. If you're going to bring the agenda to me, you're going to have to bring the agenda with facts.
Sorry, I mean, for Arsenal fans, they've been preaching Pepe's a good sign, and I've got an agenda against Dan James, but 15 million quid's done more than 72 million, so there's my spin back to Arsenal fans.
Eamon agrees.
But Chelsea fans, it's so fun.
Eamon agrees with my team. He says Keane's team, but Rashford instead of Martial and probably Boyd instead of Tuanzebe, although I'd go with Tuanzebe.
Sorry, Keane, just
Where are
going
you
back.
at with this week? What would your starting 11 be?
Keane, what was your two midfields there?
So
Pogba
I'll just
and
go through my 11 again. So my 11 was Henderson in goal. I'd go Wan-Bissaka, Tuanzebe, Victor Lindelof. Then I'd go Luke Shaw left back. Then my midfield two would be Nemanja Matic and Paul Pogba. Martial on the left, Bruno Fernandes in front of him. And Greenwood on the right, Cavani up top.
yeah, all right. Yeah, we're kind of similar, yeah.
Reese, what would your 11 be?
My starting 11, I would stick with Henderson in goal. Back four, pretty much the same, except I wouldn't play Bailly. I would probably play Tuanzebe. I think they complement each other a lot better.
Yeah,
I think that's I think that's the partnership you've got to go with in terms of style. I think Maguire and Bailly is the best partnership for them. Lindelof's best is Tuanzebe. Left back, I expect Luke Shaw to start because he had a poor game against Liverpool, so I think he's going to be played just to get himself back into form, just get himself a little bit of confidence. I don't think Solskjaer would drop him for Telles, so I'm going to go with Luke Shaw. Midfield, dare I go with it? No.
Go on, chance it. Go on, Reese.
I was actually
go on. If you want to go with it, go with it. Do you know what I mean? It's all about opinion.
I think he actually might go with a partnership of McTominay and Van de Beek. I think he just might. I don't know.
As much as I'd like to see Van de Beek on the field, I think
he won't play.
Greg Chambers is digging your grave right now.
I think if Van de Beek is getting the game soon, it will be against Wolves. I think.
Yeah,
Wolves would
that's
be
what
his
I was
game.
thinking. That's why I'd originally been.
And same with
that's
Martial.
What I was thinking. Yeah.
I think Martial will be saved for the Wolves game, as well.
Yeah. So I was thinking. I think one of them might play. Like I'll either be Pogba or Van de Beek in the middle, but I've actually went with Pogba in the wing for this one because I've got a front four of Greenwood, Fernandes, Pogba, Martial up top. To be honest.
Ooh, interesting. Interesting indeed. We all have different lineups, and I like that. Yeah. I like the contrasting opinions. And Bits and Bobs is also in the house. Yeah. So what? Evening all, Mr. Bits and Bobs. If you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, he does cover all things Manchester United over there as well as other football clubs. Do check out his YouTube channel. Really nice guy, and does great content too, and a great person. That's the most important thing.
I think if
do you think any French players might start?
I think if Martial is to get a game, it'll come on as a sub near the end of the second half. I think if he's to start, it'll be against Wolves.
You'll get 5 minutes like Ollie always does.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're just kind of at the end of the show there now, guys. That's the end of the preview. Most important part of the show, my favourite part of the show, is score predictions. Reese Russell has been making outlandish claims in the group chat about his score predictions today, and he's been bigging himself up coming on to.
I said I make some good ones. I made some good ones. Some of them are wild, but I love a wild prediction.
He's been bigging himself up today in the group chat today about his score predictions and kind of where he thinks this game is going to go. So actually, I'm going to come to him first. I told him I'm not going to come to him for a score prediction. And today,
you told me I was banned from a score prediction.
I was only messing. I'm actually going to come to you first. Your score prediction. What do you predict for this game on Tuesday?
I think we'll win 3-1. I think we will score, I think we'll score all three in the first half. And I think Fulham might just get like a late goal. I think it'll just be a late goal just because they'll be out of the game anyway. They'll probably just get like break us from like a set piece or something like what we always seem to fucking do. So I'm going to go 3-1 Man United. I'm going to go Bruno brace, and I'm going to go just because it sounds groovy. I want Luke Shaw to get a goal, so I'm going Luke Shaw to score.
And then we all be playing that song. Luke Shaw makes me feel like loving you.
And then for Fulham, I don't care who, but I think they will score.
I can't see
probably or Cavallero or whatever he's called that winger.
Yeah. Evan, what's your score prediction for
Yeah,
Tuesday?
given on the run United have and the fact that they need an up boost before the final coming up, I don't think they should be leaving even allowing like Fulham to have a sniff a goal. So I think 2-0 coming
2
from
United. Do you have any
yeah,
particular goal scores?
Bruno and Cavani. That's what I
Bruno and
think.
Cavani. And
Three, if it
do you
goes
know
3-1 or if it goes 3-0, I think happy days. But realistically, coming from a 2-1.
and do you know what they always say though when there's a Cavani goal, Evan? Give it to Eddie
The
Cavani.
Cavani.
Pass in the goal and he score all the goal.
Not sure. I don't know. I think the Bruno chance is better. I think the.
Oh, I'm not going to get into a chance thing here because I'll be here for the night singing all the songs. I was going to come to a couple of comments just with regard to score predictions. Eamon says in the comments he thinks it's going to be 3-0 United. Rory is also confident in the comments as well. Rory says it's going to be 4-0 United and we're going to get 2 goals each from Greenwood and Amad Diallo. That is a great prediction.
Much as United need to push forward, I can't see a 4-0 win.
So I'm going to go with my score prediction. I'm actually going to go 3-0 United as well. I'm going to go with... Right, I'm going to go with Aaron Wan-Bissaka getting one. I'm going to go with Aaron Wan-Bissaka getting a goal. I'm going to go with Bruno Fernandes and also Mason Greenwood to score as well.
Don't see
Reece Russell, what are you saying?
Coming
I'm still recovering from the shock.
I seen Reece's face and I said Aaron Wan-Bissaka is going to score. He literally was like, "What is he saying? What is he saying?" But if he does score,
that was a proper shock moment. That was a shock moment.
Do you know what though? Right? Do you know if Aaron Wan-Bissaka does score? Right? I want you. Right? This is the thing, Reece. Let's make a deal here. Let's make a deal here, right?
This sort of gets interesting now. Let's see.
Right, if Wan-Bissaka
scores, I'm not dropping my Dan James agenda.
No. You don't have to drop the agenda, right? No.
Fuck.
You don't have to drop the agenda, but what you do have to do is you have to get a plain white T-shirt. You have to get a marker, and you have to come on this show where "I love Dan James" wrote on the T-shirt. And you have to wear for the duration of the show for the Europa League final preview.
That's like him hanging a Scott Brown poster up on the wall. So it is.
I would rather wear the T-shirt and then just set it on fire and watch it fucking burn all off me. You know what?
Right,
you know what? Fine, I'll do it.
Right. You have to spud me now. Spud me into the camera. This is the deal now. Spud me straight into the camera. There you go.
Lock it in.
There you go. Right. So, Evan, you're here as a witness. If Aaron Wan-Bissaka
scores...
Yeah,
no. 100%.
If Aaron Wan-Bissaka scores against Fulham...
That bastard scores, I swear to God.
Well, I'll check what the odds are.
Reece Russell has to wear a plain white T-shirt. He has to have some writing with a marker on it. And he has to have "I love Daniel James" and he has to wear for the duration of the show. And he has to stand up in front of the camera so we can see the writing.
Yeah, I was just about to say, make sure it's big and clear so you're able to see it. None of that in the small little in the corner nonsense.
Oh God.
Oh,
you love him.
I proper hate him as well.
You love him. It's a great pleasure to love Dan.
But anyway, it's been a very, very good show tonight, guys. I've really enjoyed it. Evan, I've actually enjoyed your company as a Chelsea fan. Joe, coming on.
I'm in the mix.
You're in the mix. But Evan, I just need to ask you a few quick questions.
I want to add something to that deal then. If you don't mind.
Go on, let's see.
All right then. If Wan-Bissaka scores, I will wear that T-shirt, and I'm not repeating those words. I will wear that T-shirt. Only if you wear also a white T-shirt, and on the shirt, you've got to say the following words: "I rate Juan Mata more than Jesse Lingard."
Not a hope in hell. Not a hope. Not a hope.
We can't
way.
be showing lies on t-shirts.
There's
now.
a difference.
No lies on
you can
t-shirts.
love Daniel James. You can falsely love someone.
No.
But you can't falsely rate someone.
That's fair play. Then you'll have to say I love Juan Mata then.
All right, Juan Mata at Chelsea or Lingard at West Ham now.
Oh,
there's one for you now. There's one for you.
We have a question in here from Rory. Rory's asking a serious question here. Keane, you still shook? Have you come around? To be fair, I'm after coming around a small bit. Like now, to be fair, my stomach is still killing me, and it feels like there's a washing machine going on in my stomach right now. It's on a pure fast spin. But apart from that, I feel a lot better than I did when I woke up this morning. Let's just put it that way. I look like
I'm just kidding. You don't have to do it. I'll do it anyway.
But I think the best way to describe me, what I looked like this morning after been drinking till about 5-6 o'clock this morning, was I looked like the definition of a used condom. That's literally what I looked like. That's literally what I looked like. That was the head in me this morning. But anyway, that's completely off topic. But look, with regards to the game, it's been a very good show. And Eamon, I did say Eamon, I didn't say Rory. I don't think I did anyway. But yeah, I do.
Go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, you have to go back and rewatch it. I apologize if I did say Rory, because I was reading Rory's comment at the same time as your one, so because the comments are really flying in tonight. But yeah, look, it's been a very good show. But I just want to question Evan on one thing before we actually go, because he's obviously a Chelsea fan, and you had a 1-0 defeat yesterday in the FA Cup final to Leicester City. Yuri Tielemans scored an absolute scorcher.
I mean,
long range strike against you. Just overall, just quickly, give me your initial thoughts on the game, and also, finally, was that Ben Chilwell goal offside?
My personal opinion, in the game in general, I thought it was a nervous game. Like, wasn't that much to get excited about. Reece James, oh my God, kept Vardy in the pocket there for a good bit of the game. I thought Reece James was outstanding. Indeed, outstanding as well. I kind of praise the man. Talisman, I left him out of my combined 11 on the London Showdown, and he comes along and he comes along and proves me wrong. Absolute screecher. I couldn't even be mad at it. It was such a good goal. Do you know what I mean? Wasn't offside. Was not offside. Goal should have been allowed. But look.
You heard that, folks. He said that. You heard that.
That's the way the cookie crumbles, as they say.
And do you know what, Sean?
I've seen a lot of people saying, like, I've seen a lot of people today like tweeting saying if you're going to measure that goal for offside, you either base it off his bizarre ones. You either measure it off his knee, his foot, or you measure it off his forehead. If you want to decide if he's offside over those few, I'm like.
But sure, look, we lost to Leicester, but we still have the big one coming up. So, that's kind of the main focus. Top four, obviously, we've Leicester again Tuesday, so hopefully we'll bring.
Even though it was a 1-0 game, it was a good game. Like,
oh yeah,
even though it was only one goal decided, it was a good game to watch. That's a cup final you want to watch. It had everything, and the best part was there was no flaming artificial noise because it was proper fans. It was fans and making their voices heard.
Nice to hear fans back in a stadium. It was brilliant. Even though there was something like 20,000, something like that.
21,250.
21,000. Yeah, I knew it was around 20,000. The atmosphere was still electric.
Yeah.
I have a comment in here from John. John is in here in the comments. Welcome to the comments again, John, here this evening. John says, I'd love to see a Bruno Brace blow Lampard's best season out of the water. Sorry, Ev.
Don't even.
Evan's sitting there like.
Well, to be fair, I just need to check
in there. Don't even argue that. Actually, that's blasphemy. You're telling me Lampard's best seasons.
But hold on a second.
Best seasons right now.
Well, hold on, Evan. I need to stop you there for 1 second. Bruno Fernandes has actually already broke Lampard's best goal scoring season already.
All right.
He broke it on Thursday when he scored against Liverpool.
So you're going to argue, right? Just based off goals alone.
No.
Goals and assists.
This is
open
actually
years
going
is
to
exactly what. No, Evan Fahey, listen to what I'm fucking saying here, right?
go on.
I said Bruno Fernandes has already broken Frank Lampard's best goal scoring season, not his best ever season, his best goal scoring season. Bruno Fernandes has already broken that.
All right, that's fair enough. He can score more goals all he wants, so he can.
But isn't that what Lampard was? What he was measured on? No, was his goals because he was a goal scoring midfielder.
No, he had that goal scoring ability, but that wasn't his only trait. Do you know what I mean?
And Lampard had more penalties that season. Just to throw that out there.
Oh, this show is actually going to be about 4 hours long if we get into this. Give me clarifications here.
Here, fans call him Fernandes. Does that mean we have to call him Penpard now or something?
Well, if you want that. I think it only comes down to Bruno Fernandes being called a pen merchant is because it's funny and it riles up United players. And I think
the one thing you can't argue. I think the one thing you can't argue about both players, right, in terms of their teams, like Frank Lampard for Chelsea in that 09-10 season, brilliant for them. And that's exactly what Fernandes is for us. It's just circumstantial that you're going to get a lot of, to say it in like the right side, because I personally don't care, you're going to get back and forth comments on fan bases about which player is better. Frankly, Fernandes now is what Lampard was to you lot 12 years ago. It's just we've got a better player.
When Bruno does it as many seasons, I will gladly come back on the show, hold my hand up and say, yeah, Bruno is better than Lampard. But until then, Lampard is.
We're not saying he's better though. This is the thing people are missing. We're not saying he's better. We're just saying he's already broken his best goal scoring season.
That's fair. That's fair. He
in his first full season as a Man United player.
He can break it all he wants, and hopefully more to come from. Do you know what I mean? I rate him as a player, but until he does it season, do you know what I mean?
Well, he's after doing it 2 seasons in a row now, though. To be brutally honest about it, he came in January and done it from January to May, and then he's doing it from January till when did the season end? August or something, was it? Or September?
Yeah.
Yep.
He done it till then, and then he's doing it from that point with no break up until now. Like let's get this straight. Like we're not calling him a better
season before. He also got 30 goals.
But if you had to pick a team and the choice was between Lampard and Bruno, who are you putting in?
Well, you obviously have to put Lampard in right now.
But that's what I'm saying. So once Bruno does season, and yes, he has done it for 2 seasons so far, I will gladly come back on up and say, yeah, I'd pick Bruno over Lampard all day.
I don't think the numbers are going to be. I don't think he's going to have another I don't think he's going to have another 50 goal season or whatever it is right now, like 45 to 50. I don't think he's going to have that. But what he is going to see is you're going to see consistency with numbers. So you're going to have about 20 to 30, and you're going to see maybe some less goals than what he's got this season, but he's going to have much more influence.
Oh yeah,
I think that's where I would put the conversation of Lampard and Fernandes is that was Lampard's peak season for goals, and then the seasons after that they dropped, but his influence was still high.
Exactly.
That's what Bruno is to. That's literally where Bruno is for Man United for us.
Like
the numbers will come down a margin, but he's going to be so influential that he'll lead us to more trophies.
Exactly.
And I can guarantee that. Do you know what we can all agree on collectively, just as we wrap it up there?
They're better than Gerrard.
Got a bit over. Yeah, Paul Scholes and Frank Lampard are better than Steven Gerrard, and we're gonna wrap it up there.
I couldn't agree more. Before anyone gets a chance in the comments.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up there, guys. Thanks very much both of you for coming on a Sunday evening. It's been actually a very good show. Look, I've massively enjoyed it here this evening.
So did I.
Good crack.
Look, just with regards to where our fans can, our followers, our subscribers, fans, kind of a word you use for football clubs, where our subscribers can catch you on social media. Reese, where can our followers catch you?
So you can catch me on Twitter at UnitedVenom7, injecting some lethal venom into clowns on Twitter. It's always a good laugh. And if you're into gaming, I do Twitch, so it's Reese_Lightning 1997. Come along for a bit of a laugh. It's up to you. Yeah,
and you might see me the odd time over on a Twitch stream as well as Evan.
Mm-hmm.
Evan, I know you're coming back on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm going to make a
the weekly
comeback.
armchair kickoff. But where can our viewers catch you on social media?
Main form of social media now is TikTok. Funny enough, something you don't hear very often, but kind of more active at just having the crack, just random videos and that hauls, jerseys, all that kind of stuff. So if you ever want to get in touch, I do have a question and answer box, or you can drop me an email, or like I said, back on Twitter. So there you go. Just Evan Fahey. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Do catch him on TikTok, and some of his TikToks, lads, I'll be honest, they are very upbeat. So do go over there and do catch that content over there. As always, look, you can see on my Twitter handle here at Keane_Franey for all your Bruno Fernandes propaganda, for all your baiting rival fans every day. That's where you want to catch me. But most importantly, the most important thing you have to do is smash a like on the video. Do subscribe to the Weekly Armchair Kickoff Podcast YouTube channel. As I said, we have a lot coming down this next week with the Europa League final next week. European Championships as well are coming up. So we will be doing shows probably nearly every day during the European Championships. So that should be very exciting. I don't know if you guys
might interest you. I've seen something as well that might interest you, because all the games are going to be, well, for us, BBC over here, but from the 19th of June onwards, for like the next 10 days after that, it's going to be, every single game is going to be Euros, Copa America, back to Euros, back to Copa America every single day for 10 days straight.
It's going to be beautiful. But just with regards to content, that's going to be great, I think, for all of us. But in terms of content coming up with yours, well, that's going to be great. But we also have two new hosts on Devil's Advocate. We do have Amy and Rach, and they both host on Three Devils in the Corner. But since now they are now permanent on the channel now, and they will be doing a lot more content over here. And so they will be hosting this show. So you won't see my face as much as you're used to. So you finally got rid of me, guys. I'm not leaving, obviously. I'm still here. But you're going to be seeing me a lot less, because we're going to be rotating. We're going to be spicing it up. We're going to be doing all different shows. We're going to be doing transfer dailies. We're going to be doing match reviews. We're going to be doing the same podcasts like we're doing now. We're literally going to be doing all different types of content coming up this summer, and obviously going into next season. And so if you haven't already, do subscribe to the channel, do share the videos across your socials. It does a massive thing to help us. So absolutely do. And look, as always, this is Devil's Advocate. This is the Weekly Armchair Kickoff Podcast. This is Keane. This is Evan. This is Reese. And we're out here.